Hey guys, Matt McLean here from Fortitude Functional Fitness, and I'm excited to announce the new online programming available, Fortitude CrossFit Plus. And why it's called CrossFit Plus is because it's for CrossFitters, for competitive CrossFitters that want to get better at their movements and want a measurable program, and a measurable program that they're not going to get hurt on. So I've done a bunch of programming in the past, some online CrossFit programs like CrossFit Invictus. I've followed Comp Train, both of these for a number of years, and they were great programs. They were really good programs. I got in my best shape, but I also ended up injured, usually after 6 months or so of kind of grinding away at these, just getting a little bit beat up. So I came up with CrossFit Plus because it has a lot of added things I feel most CrossFit programs don't have that will sort of keep you injury free and keep you more athletic. So let me explain how the program works. Okay, I've got a bunch of charts here. So basically this program is on a 14-day rotation, okay? There's too much to get good at in CrossFit to have like a 7-day rotation, so we have a 14. You have similar movements and similar muscle groups on each Monday, on each Tuesday, and each Wednesday. So having a 14-day rotation is okay because you're not just doing the one movement every 14 days. Well, you sort of are in some situations, but for instance, say you're back squatting on Monday, the following Monday you're doing a leg press. So this way we're keeping it conjugate, sort of keeping your body guessing that way, but we're still sort of working the same muscle group so you can get better that way. You do it more frequently, right? So just a quick rundown of the weeks. For instance, on a Monday, we'd be doing back squatting and muscle ups on the rings, a number of other things, but that's the two main things that we need to do in there. We'll also be metconning that day and doing some accessory work. Tuesday, for instance, we'd be doing like a strict press, some snatch work, and some sprinting. Wednesday would be metconning and gymnastics work. Thursdays is off. Fridays is front squat day, followed by clean and jerk and some jumping. Saturdays usually metcon and gymnastics work. Sundays are off or active recovery. The following Monday is leg press and bar muscle up. So see what I say? Like similar movements, right? So instead of the back squats, we're doing a leg press. Instead of the ring muscle ups, we're doing a bar muscle up. Same thing with like a Tuesday, right? Instead of a strict press, we're going to be doing like a bench press, right? So it's still pressing movement. We're doing snatching both days. We're doing sprinting both days. Going back to the strict press and the bench press, though, we're going to be doing accessory work for both of these exercises, both of these movements. On Tuesday, for instance, when we're doing the strict press, we're going to do the strict press, a 5-3-1 powerlifting style, which I will soon explain how that works. But after we do the strength work, we do some accessory work for that movement as well. And the accessory work is more like hypertrophy work, so sort of like bodybuilder style, where you're doing like 8 to 12 repetitions, building the base, building the muscle size, and so the muscle can be stronger, right? You build the size and you build the strength, kind of, they go hand in hand, right? So on Tuesday, when we're strict pressing, the accessory work for the strict pressing, though, is going to be some kind of chest pressing, right? And then on the following Tuesday, when we do bench press as the strength work, the accessory work for the bench press is actually going to be some kind of like a overhead press, so like a sort of like a strict press accessory work. So we are basically getting them both in each week. It's just there's so much to focus on with CrossFit that we have specific days for specific movements. The following Wednesday, we'd have like deadlifting and metconning. Thursday's always off. The Friday, so the one week we're having front squats, the following week we're having overhead squats. Clean and jerk both days, jumping both days. There's some more things that go into those days as well. So metconning and gymnastics work on Saturdays, and then active recovery on Sundays. Okay, so that's basically how the rotation works. Let me talk about the individual things that we're going to be doing, okay? So for the powerlifting, so the powerlifting is going to be your strict press, your bench press, your squats, your deadlifts, Even like your leg press. There's a few other movements I have in there where we're going to be using the 5-3-1 structure. So if you've done any powerlifting, you probably are familiar with 5-3-1. So anything where we're going after absolute strength, we're going to be working using 5-3-1. And how that works is essentially like this on this chart here. So I'll bring this chart a little bit closer here so you can kind of see. So basically you have waves. You have like a wave 1, which is your week 1. You have a wave 2, which is your week 2, and a wave 3, which is your week 3, okay? Once you're done wave 3, basically you go back to wave 1, and I'll explain that. So wave 1, for instance, let's just say that, for the sake of easy math, that your max, whatever, back squat is 100 pounds, okay? Let's be honest, if it's 100 pounds, you're probably not doing this program, but just say it is for the sake of easy math. Okay, so it's 100 pounds. So wave 1, you're going to be doing 65% of your 1 rep max for 5 reps in your first set. So it's basically like, it's a warm up, right? So 65 pounds. Set number 2 is 75% for 5 reps. And set number 3 is 85% of your 1 rep max for 5 reps or more. You're going to do as many reps as you can on that set. And say, for instance, you get like 8 or 9, right? Then you do a joker set. So what a joker set is your estimate of what you can do for 5 reps that day. So if at 85% you can do 8 reps, you might have to go an extra 10 or 20 pounds to try to fail at 5 reps, okay? One thing that's very important when you're doing this style, though, is that you don't really start with your true max, okay? So if 100 pounds is your 1 rep max back squat, like that's, you barely got out of the hole, it was a sketchy rep, like that is your max. What I want you to do when you start a 5-3-1 program is actually use 90% of that as your training max. So instead of 100, we cross that out and we go 90 pounds, okay? And then we'd use 90 for your math, for your 65% of 90 pounds, 75% of 90 pounds, okay? You'll find if you use your true max, it's just too heavy and too hard on your body. I usually end up going backwards when my training max is too high. It works much better. I get much stronger when I use a 90% of my actual max, okay? But then we go into wave 2. So after the week 1, you've done the 65, the 75, the 85 for 5 or more. We're going to go up by 5% on everything, right? So we're going to go up to 70%, and we're going to drop the repetitions from 5 to 3. So 70% for 3. Set number 2, 80% for 3. Set number 3, 90% for 3 or more. Again, if you're getting 5 or 6 reps on your 3 or more, then you can go ahead and do a joker set, which is the maximum amount of weight you think you can do 3 reps for that day, okay? Then it's on to wave 3. Wave 3 is another 5% up, so we go 75%, but now not for 3 reps, but for 5 reps. It's just sort of warming you up for a heavy lift. Then we go to 85% for 3 reps, which is still fairly heavy, but preparing you for a really heavy lift. Then you're going to go 95% for 1 or more. So you're getting pretty close to a max here. Again, if you get 2, 3, 4, 5 reps, you're going to do a joker set, and you can actually test your 1 rep max on that joker set. Okay. So if you beat all of your waves, so on wave 1, at 85%, if you're getting more than 5, on wave 2 at 90% if you're getting more than 3, and on wave 3, on wave 2 at 90% if you're getting more than 3, and on wave 3 at 95% if you're getting more than 1. If you beat all those numbers, then you add 10 pounds to your lower body lifts, so to your deadlifts, to your squats, and 5 pounds to your upper body lifts, and you're just adding that weight to your training max. So you're going to do the math based off of your new training max. So it's like a linear progression, okay? So that's what we're going to do with just the strength work in this CrossFit program, okay? Now we're going to move on to the weightlifting, okay? So the weightlifting, now that's like your snatch, your clean and jerk, right? So the weightlifting is also going to be percentage based. We're also going to go off of a 90% training max. So you're taking your max, you're cutting back 10%. We're using that for your percentage math, okay? But with the weightlifting, it's a little bit different. We are going to start at lower percentages, like quite low on week 1, like maybe 50 to 60%. But at 50 to 60%, we're gonna do like 5 to 7 repetitions, okay, per set. Within these repetitions per set, we're also gonna work on technique. So I might have you do, say you're doing the snatch, for instance. I might just have you do the scoop portion of a snatch. Then I might have you do a high pull after that. And then from the high pull, we're gonna go into, say, a muscle snatch. And then from the muscle snatch, we'll go into a power snatch. And then we'll go into a hang squat snatch, okay? There's gonna be lots of different combos and variations there where you're doing higher repetition. On the following week, we usually go up about 10%. We might go 60 to 70%. And we're gonna drop the repetitions down from 5 to 6 to anywhere from, I guess, or from 5 to 7 to 4 to 6, something like that. It's a linear progression over the 6 weeks, where at the end of the 6 weeks, you're basically doing 95+%, and you're trying to PR your snatch and your clean and jerk. So the weightlifting is also on percentage, and basically it goes up throughout 6 weeks. Back to the powerlifting for a second, because I forgot something about that. With the powerlifting, you're actually going up for 3 weeks. It's a 6-week cycle, this program. So you're going up for 3 weeks, because that's wave 1, wave 2, wave 3 is week 3. And then you're going back to wave 1 on the 4th week, wave 2 on the 5th week, wave 3 on the 6th week. So you're basically kind of doing one of these over the 6 weeks. You're going up for 3, dropping back down, going up for 3 again. So we peak twice with the powerlifting, peak only once with the weightlifting, okay? How the accessory work works, okay? So if you haven't done 5-3-1, this might be getting over your head a little bit, but I'm trying to explain it best I can, so just pay attention here. So once we've done these 3 sets, your 65 for 5, your 75 for 5, your 85 for 5. So those are considered your strength sets, okay? We need to do the accessory work at this point, which is the hypertrophy work, which is the 8 to 12 repetitions, building a base to get these movements stronger, okay? Bigger muscle equals stronger kind of thing, right? So that's also going to be percentage based, and we're going to periodize up over 6 weeks. So how that's going to work is basically in week 1, we're going to do higher repetitions at a lower percentage. So I might have you do 5 sets of 12 at about 60% of your 1 rep max, using your 90% training max, right? The following week, we go up to 65%, where we take the repetitions down 2 reps to 10 reps. So we might do, and we might add an extra set to get that extra volume in there. So we might go 65% for 10 repetitions for 6 sets instead, right? Another thing we do is every week we keep this conjugate. So 1 week we're just, say, squatting regular weight, like we're just throwing regular weight on the bar. The following week we're going to go up in percent, go down in reps, but we're also going to add some accessory. We might add some chains to the bar, or we might add some bands to the bar. Okay, so it's a linear progression, but we keep it very conjugate. And we're going to go right up to where you're doing basically 4 repetitions at 80% for like 8 or 9 sets for volume, okay, over the 6 weeks. Another thing we incorporate, so we incorporate sprinting and jumping every week, okay? So we have different plyometrics. We have a day or 2 for those. It might be things like the max height you can jump over 5 hurdles simultaneously, or it might be a max box jump, or it might be every 30 seconds doing like a sub-max box jump or hurdle jump. We're going to do some lateral jumping, right? We're going to mix it up with the plyos. We're going to do sprinting every week. The sprinting is going to range anywhere from like a really short, like 35-meter all-out sprint to, you know, like 100 or 200-meter sprint. We're going to do some lateral movement too. We're going to be doing something like Z pattern cone touches. So all the sprint rope work and the plyometric work is going to help big time with converting muscle fiber into fast twitch, which is basically in CrossFit going to help you for a lot of things, like your weightlifting, your kipping. A lot of movements in CrossFit are explosive, so we want fast twitch muscle. It's also going to make you more athletic and more resilient. Just that multi-directional running and everything, you're increasing your tissue tolerance. Okay, other than that, now we move on to gymnastics work, okay? So for the gymnastics work, what we're going to do is we're going to make sure we hit all the movements fairly evenly. Since this is a program that lots of people are going to be doing, we're just going to make sure it's nice and balanced. We're going to work on technique and accessory work. Oh, just making sure the camera's still rolling there. It looks like it is. Where was I? We're going to be working on technique work and accessory work for each of those gymnastics movements. So things like doing a hollow rock to improve your position, things like doing handstand holds. There's lots of different accessories we can do to improve your gymnastics work. And we're just going to make sure that we sort of steadily increase the volume with certain movements over time, or near the open, or whatever we need to do to peak at the right point. As far as the metconning goes, or the conditioning goes, we're going to make sure that we hit all the different energy systems. So anything ranging from like even a 10-second max effort like airdyne to something like a 30+ minute aerobic work. So we make sure that we get sort of one of each week. We're going to go really hard anaerobic, something under 2 minutes, but as hard as you can, all out, once a week. And we're going to get something longer once a week, and then we're going to get something kind of mid-range, maybe 12 to 20 minutes. So that's basically how the program's going to work. I've ran 2 6-week cycles so far, and they've worked fantastic. So if you're a person that you want to be more athletic, you want to be better at your CrossFitting, you want something that's very measurable, and you want to simultaneously get better at the weightlifting, the powerlifting, your gymnastics work, this is the program for you. I put a lot of effort and thought into this, and so far it's worked amazing. So hit me up and let's do this. Okay, I'm going to show you how easy it is to use Fitbot. This is the software I'm going to be using for everybody's programming. So here's a calendar of all the workouts that I've scheduled. So if I just select one of these days here, let's just go to day 10 here. I'll select a day. I'll hit edit here. And for instance, if I don't know what something is, hollow rocks for instance, like what's hollow rocks? I'm just going to click on the video icon in the corner there, and it's going to have a video tutorial of exactly what hollow rocks is. Okay, so that's pretty cool. It's kind of fail-proof. I can submit everything on here just by typing it in. Say I did 35 seconds worth on the first set and 25 seconds on the second set. And then I would just hit save at the bottom, and that would be saved in there. It has a bunch of capabilities as well. As soon as the client would save it in here, it would send me a notification that this person has completed their workout, so I can see in real time what my clients are doing, and then we can you can message me, or I can message you. We can chat about it if you have any questions. If you click on your name, you can see, click on the name. You can see kind of how many workouts you've completed, how many you've missed. Metrics. So metrics are going to be like pie charts of your progression. There's a spot for goals, for limitations. There's planning in there. There's a calendar, so you can plan certain things. You can upload your nutrition if you have any diets or anything, or you just want to track it. Equipment, if your gym doesn't have the equipment that my programming has on it, I can see that through here, and we can change things that way. Progressive before and after pictures, notes. So pretty good software. It's pretty capable. On top of that, I'm going to also have a Facebook group for everybody doing this program, and we're going to use that to basically discuss the workouts. We can post videos there. We can keep each other motivated. I had a Facebook group before for Invictus, when I was following Invictus, and what I would do on there would say, like I'd throw out a message, hey guys, I'm going to be training at noon, who wants to join me? Because if you have a bunch of people on the same program, iron sharpens iron, so you'd want to find some training partners. It's a great way to sort of create a little community. So yes, that's Fitbot, and that's how that works.